Welcome back to From the Pitch to Perfect with me, your host, Sammy B. My government name is Samantha Brand. And if you were to Google that name, you would see a ton of pictures of me getting fouled as a professional soccer player. But that is not what we're talking about today. That is just one of the many transitions that I bring up on this podcast. Go back, go listen, all of the things. Today, I'm talking about the transition between me wanting to host retreats and me actually doing the hosting of retreats. And I'm going to take you back to, I think it's May 2023. I'm in a tier 2 of a challenge in the Turn Up Dance Fitness community. And we are basically just talking business. We're one-on-one with the CEO of Turn Up Dance Fitness. We are really digging into why we want to dream. What do we want to dream about? How does it all come to fruition, right? And here I am, very, very raw still from losing my father and losing my husband back to back. I mean, it was 3 months after losing my husband that my dad was diagnosed with an aggressive cancer. And so I was just raw. I was still trying to find out who I was. I had moved from Sweden, where I was playing professional soccer, where my daughter was born, where I met him, where he passed away, all of the things. I moved back when my dad got sick. I just moved back. I completely abandoned my entire life in Sweden and just moved back home to California to live and take care of my dad and my mom. And I just did it. And so I was really lost. I had given up my dream job in Sweden, which was going to be being a bridge program between immigrant young girls and the Swedish culture. I was so excited about that job, gave it up, said, bye, I got to go home. My dad is sick. My Superman is sick. I'm going home. And I went home. I still had an apartment in Sweden. I still had 2 cars, payments I was paying. I lived a double life for a few months, and I was just trying so hard to find somewhere that I can grasp, somewhere that I can grab onto reality. Everything around me was whirling. I was still in what we call a widow's fog. My therapist explained it to me as just everything you do is foggy. Every decision I was making was foggy. Everything I tried to push myself to do, working out was harder. I felt like I was running through sand. Everything felt harder. And so I was in this place and I was watching my family go through something so tragic, not just losing my husband, but also losing The Rock, our dad. My mom's husband, they were together almost 40 years. They were solid. They walked everywhere holding hands. I was watching my mom become what I had just become months before, which is a widow. And the difference is my husband died very suddenly, but I did watch the decline of his mental health. And so it was very, very strange to sit there and watch my dad, who was just, I'm telling you, up until I was 30-something years old, I ran and jumped into my dad's arms as a full-grown human adult. And so he was just the strongest man I knew outside of my husband, because I used to run and jump into my husband's 6'2" giant. I am all of 5'2" on a good day. And I would jump and run into these men's arms. I would just do it. That's who I was. And so I was watching these men decline. I was just whirling. And so I ended up in this tier 2, which meant the business aspect of a challenge. And I was sitting in a room with these amazing women, and we were all talking about our dreams. And then randomly later in the day, I got 4 voice messages in an Instagram message from the CEO of a company that I was just falling madly in love with, Turn Up Dance Fitness. Her name is Tansy Spencer. She just randomly, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Am I in trouble? Because there's no possible way in my mind that I thought that she would take time out of her own schedule, where she has a business, it was a big business that she was running. And she just took time out of her schedule and she goes, you know what? I've got some ideas for you. 1, you can start hosting some writing challenges. 2, maybe one day you can host a retreat. That's what it could lead to. I was like, say less. I started my journey. I started doing writing challenges. I started doing 10-day, 30-day, 2-day, 3-day, any type of writing challenge I can do. I got people in a virtual room and we wrote together. We journaled together. I gave the prompts. They gave their heart. And it was so amazing. And then one day I was talking to my business bestie and I was like, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do this retreat, because I'm sure that she thought this was years from now. And I was like, why though? Why would it have to be years from now? I'm going to do it this June. Mostly because June had become a month that I would dread. I would dread coming towards June every single year. And I'm going to be honest with you, I still dread it. It is my birthday month, but my husband also proposed to me on my birthday. It is the month that I got married, but a lot of those memories are very coated in sadness now. It is the month that I met my husband, which is a beautiful, beautiful love story that I'll tell another time. But it is everything we did, and he even passed away in June. And so everything really about my relationship with my husband all happened in June. Every single thing, big, small, medium, large, whatever it was, happened in June. And I dreaded that month, and I said, I'm taking it back. I'm taking back the month of June. I'm going to run a retreat. I'm going to go on a vacation afterwards. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to host my own class. I'm going to do all this stuff. And a big part of that was ending my retreat on the 1st of June. And so I did it. In June of 2024, actually the end of May in 2024 and the first day of June, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run a retreat. And I did. And 14 people showed up, and it was way more than I anticipated. I was like, if 4 people show up, 14 people showed up, an entire group of Colorado baddies. They basically joined all on the same day. I didn't necessarily know how to close the limit of participants at that moment in my business career. I wasn't business savvy enough yet. So I basically just had like open-ended attendance. And so, yep. Just 7 people on the last day just signed up all together, and I had 14 people, and now I would not change that for the world. I love every single person who came to that retreat that first year, because what happened that weekend was insane. We went places that I still don't understand. We released things. It was called the Right to Release retreat. And when I tell you, we released in every way. We talked even about pelvic floor release. We released with a massage. We released with ice baths. We released with screaming, jumping, like we tore up papers. We yelled things. It was just like amazing, right? And I was like, I came back, and I actually had a really bad experience when I came back. A lot of the joy of that retreat was stolen from me with a really bad experience. And I just, honestly though, like, you cannot take away the fact that my first retreat ever was so amazing. It was so powerful. And I had a blast planning it. I didn't feel stressed, except for money. That's something I'm always going to stress about. Whether it's asking for money, spending money, like all the things. I way undercharged, and I did not come out okay. I came out very under in that retreat. And I think that was like the only thing that I had any complaints about was I got to do better with my money. But other than that, bro, like I was absolutely beside myself with how amazing it went. I had so much help. When I tell you I had so much help, a big shout out to Caitlin. She knows exactly who she that was weird, who she is. She not only sat with me and planned details, she was there taking videos, pictures, like she was in it, but on the outside of it. She participated in it. It was crazy. And then it brings me to this second annual retreat, in which we felt a little bit more, I guess, retreat savvy, but it was going to be completely different. It was a fall retreat. I wanted to do another summer retreat. I could not get my emotions. I could not get my mind right. I was working a really tedious job at the time. I couldn't get it out. I kept trying to plan it, and I could not plan it for the same exact time as I did last year. And that means that it almost didn't happen because I'm a perfectionist. And I thought if I can't do it exactly a year later, it's not worth doing. Boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong. Because to be honest with you, this time that we did this a fall retreat at the beginning of October, and it was beautiful. And instead of driving 4 hours to the San Francisco Water Bay where it was still going to be freezing cold, I did it 45 minutes from my home at Shaver Lake, California. I had my own squad bring swag gifts, and these people in my squad, like just my home village, they gave me masks to put in my swag bag. They gave me bracelets. They helped me make shirts. And I also had my beautiful friend Angie, who wasn't sure how much she could help me because, again, I kind of rushed the planning of this because I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this year. And so I asked very minimal of my friends, and when they showed up. Angie, you know who you are. You literally saved my life. Like, you helped me with heat pressing the sweatshirts that I did this year myself. I gave them hoodies, you guys, not shirts. I gave them cozy, cute hoodies in which I screen printed myself. And instead of being easy and putting something on the breast of the chest of the hoodie, I put it on the hood. You know why? Because I'm cute. And she did pens for me. We did, I already mentioned masks. I had someone donate cozy socks and tea, and it was just amazing. My village just showed up for me. And because it was only 45 minutes away, Angie also bussed people up to the mountain for me, in which I would have had to do myself, or they would have all had to pile in with all of their luggage into one tiny car. And so I just had so much help. Caitlin came through big yet again. I had another friend there, Shermay Peel, who last year had a horrible experience at the beginning of her retreat experience because she got stuck in like a tornado and she kept having to go back and forth to the airport. And she still came. She still came and sat on my panel. This year, she was a keynote speaker. I had one of the most amazing women I've ever met in my life named Amani, who single-handedly changed the course of my life, the trajectory of my life. She is... I don't even know how to explain her. I just please look her up. Her Instagram handle is Imani Nicole, and you just got to look her up because you're just going to be fulfilled. Anything, just consume her in every way that you can. She was one of my virtual keynote speakers. And yes, ladies and gentle ladies, I had a virtual arm to my retreat this year because, again, I knew there was a ton of people who would have flown here if they could financially do it, if they could logistically do it with their families. They wanted to be here, but they couldn't. So I said, bet. We're going to make a virtual arm. We're going to Zoom you in to 3 sessions of my retreat. And that was like crazy talk because I had a lot of variables in that. Will the internet work at the cabin? Will my computer that has very little space on it, will it be able to even hold these 2 Zoom calls? Will Imani be able to Zoom in and us have access to her? It was a big variable, but I would do it again in a heartbeat because we had about 16 people sign up for the virtual. We had a bunch of people in person, and I say a bunch of people. This year was only 7 of us, but like that, and that was enough. It was perfect. 14 was perfect last year. 7 was perfect this year. 16 virtual was amazing. We had people watching replays. There's replays out there that will change your life. When I tell you that watching some of these things will change all of these things, not some of them, all of these things will change your life. And I am so goddamn proud of myself. I am so proud of the people who stepped all the way up. Not just the people who helped put this together, the Caitlins, the Shemays, the Imanis, the Angies. Not just them. I am so proud of the people who showed up virtually and in person and poured themselves into this because they didn't have to. You guys, they truly could have been like, hey, what a great vacation away from my kids. What a great vacation away from job. I'm just here to be not at work, to be not sleeping in, the same room as my kid or you doing all the things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here just to vacate. That's what they could have done. Nope. Not our participants. Our participants poured their heart and soul. We had screaming, crying. We had release of just like so much heaviness. I did not realize how much people just carry. People just carry this heaviness around them. And I'm so proud that we had people committed to setting it down. And some of it we have to pick back up. I had to come back down the mountain and immediately start planning how I'm going to get my kid back into my life. I had to plan how to clean my house after I brought home all of the things from the retreat that made everything so special. The blankets, the food, the this, the that, you know what I mean? I also had to come down from the fact that on Sunday, we went to a brunch at a place called Cocky's in town, and we danced our tushies off. We were exhausted from that, but it was the most perfect way to release all of the pent up, wow, what did we just do? Energy. It was amazing. It was amazing. I also got that sponsored by my mother. My mom was like, let me help you. Let me sponsor that food. So when I tell you that I had people coming from every which way to make this weekend amazing, and I am so blessed and I am so happy and I'm so proud that we put on another retreat and I'm bubbling over. I'm bubbling over. And I can't stop and I won't stop. And that's what led to me being like, people were like, wow, I want more. We're doing a 10-day writing challenge starting October 21st, and we're going to continue. Like, the work is never done because life keeps lifing. The work is never done. You know what I mean? Like, I can get through one trial and a tribulation comes and kicks me in the ass next week. Like, that's just how it is. That is life lifing. That is the beauty of being alive and taking risks and being someone who pushes envelopes and tries to be better, is that there will always be something to write about, something to emote, something to release, because we will not be stagnant. And we promised ourselves that we are not going to be stagnant. We also promised ourselves, guys, that we are going to naturally and attentively and intentionally look for joy. We want joy in our lives. After we uprooted all this pain and trauma, what are we going to replace it with? It's joy. That's what we're doing now. That's the work we want to do. And we want to do it in a quiet way. And the challenge is called the quiet becoming, because, girl, when I tell you that I have healed screaming, I have healed quietly, I have healed in front of people, I've healed alone, I've healed in the bath crying, I've healed in the shower crying, I've healed laughing with my friends, dancing with my friends, on stages, speaking my words, speaking my poetry. I have healed in so many different ways. And right now I am in a place where I want to quietly heal intentionally and on purpose. And that is what we're going to do in our 10-day challenge. You can join us. You can DM me at SammyB14 on Instagram or TikTok, or I know Sammy B is also my name on Facebook, SammieBee14. You can find me in all those spaces and we can heal together. We can come into a space and a place where we are just genuinely like safe. And that's what it felt like over the weekend. Safe. And I don't have that many places in my life that are orchestrated and protected like that. And I am dead set on creating more of them. My daughter, for instance, my little 5-year-old daughter, loves being home. She's always like, we're out, we're having a good time. She's always like, can we go home? And a friend of mine brought it to my, actually Angie, brought it to my attention. She goes, that means your house is safe. She wants to be home. She wants to be at home with all our things. She wants to be home cuddling with me on the couch. And that's like beautiful. Like, that's all I could ask for. And so we're creating safety within our own house and in our own bodies, in our own minds, in our own hearts. That's what we're doing. That's what we keep doing. And that's what we did over the weekend at this Right to Release retreat, the second annual one. I cannot wait for the next one. I'm already planning one with my local squad. I'm already planning a way for us to go up and just release. That's all I want. That is all I need. And so, again, you can reach me any which way, but if nothing else, go tell someone that they're awesome today. I love you so much. Bye.